Okay, well, we're here with Fred Willie of Invader Pest Management, and today we're going to talk about those pesky pigeons and how to control these flying city rats, as some people call them. Fred, good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Matt. Thank you.
So, how do we put some control measures in place and without being too invasive and trying to do the right thing without you know some of the more aggressive strategies?
Well, Matt, that's actually there's like three different ways that work really well for pigeon control. One is kind of behavioral modification, and that's a kind of a nice way. We put some strips up on top of the ledges and on the edges of the building where the pigeons like to frequent a lot. And what it'll do is gently remind them that we don't want them there, and that's done through an electric shock. But while it will kind of scare them away, it's not going to harm the bird. So that's a nice way to do it. Also, especially on commercial buildings where large flocks are, on big properties, there's something out there now called ova control, which is basically birth control for pigeons. And over a period of time, with the bird's natural life cycle, given about 2 years, if they're not having any more babies, they'll just naturally pass away, and the flock itself will diminish. So that's a great way to do it too. And then, of course, the good old standbys. There's like pigeon netting, and people probably heard of bird spike and things like that to prevent the birds from landing on the ledges. And there's some stuff called bird slope, which makes a very sloped perch that they can't rest on. So that works pretty good to keep the birds off of those areas. The main focus is we can't allow the pigeons to nest on the building because they'll call that home for the rest of their lives and for the rest of their offspring's lives too. And then you get this large flock living on a building.
So, Fred, I've also heard that that pigeons are disease-ridden animals or birds. What are some of the concerns if you don't get your pigeon problem under control?
Well, Matt, that's true, and I don't know that it's the pigeon themselves as much as the parasites and things like that that are accumulate, say, in the bird droppings. The bird droppings get all dried up, and they can carry like histoplasmosis, which is a lung disease that they really don't have a cure for. That was probably the worst one as far as I'm concerned, because the pigeons tend to be roosting near like doorways and windows and ledges and things like that. And if you have especially in the springtime, your doors are open and that sort of thing, or if you got kids coming and going inside, you ever see the feathers get swept into the house from the wind from the door opening and closing? You're also bringing in all those spores and the bacteria and stuff associated with those droppings that pile up on the ground right there. So that's probably the number one thing. Never mind the dropping itself, is very acidic and can literally damage the roof tiles and things like that. So, but probably the number one thing would be that, I'd say, Matt.
Very good. Well, these are pretty nasty problems, and if people have pigeon issues and they need the experts at Invader Pest Management, how's the best way to get in touch with you, Fred?
Well, Matt, they can either get us online, of course, at www.invader.net, or they can call us at our office anytime at 623-435-0228. We would love to answer any questions that they might have about pigeon control, and we offer a free inspection at their building, too, as far as giving them a proposal on what to do to solve their problem.
Very good. Well, Fred, thanks for enlightening us on how to take pigeon control matters into a good situation for you, and also not too bad for the pigeons.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You take care, and you have a great day.
Thanks. You too, Fred.